looks like we have a quorum based on the numbers of people here. Let's see, got it. So we also have with us esteemed district manager running the meeting for us, Mr. Dante Wine. Why don't we start with introduction? I'm going to put the pressure on you, Dante. Why don't you come and introduce yourselves?
Well, thank you for good afternoon, evening, everyone. My name is Dante Arnwine. I serve as the district manager of Brooklyn Community Board 9. On the administrative side, I really look forward to working with all of the committees. This committee in particular does a lot of good work throughout the year. And so, as the office is in the process of hiring a third person, as we get back to full staff, I look forward to working with everyone on the committee. I know that I haven't been able to meet everyone, but I'm sure that day will come soon. I know this committee is going to do a lot of great work, and just know that the board office and the administrative staff is there to support you. And if you ever have any questions, concerns, ideas, don't hesitate to reach out to the board office.
Thank you, Mr. Arwine. Thank you, Dante. All right, I'm going to move to staying on the administrative side. Miss Alexandra Mormon, would you please introduce yourself and tell us about you?
Hello. I'm sorry for the background noise. I do have a child who's here and can be very loud, but my name is Alex and I am the new park manager in District 8 and 9. Yeah, if you need me for anything, feel free to reach out, and it's nice to meet you all as well.
Okay. Can I ask one question? Go ahead.
Congrats. She said new park manager, so it sounds like that might be a promotion or a new job. So welcome and congratulations.
Well, which means she's going to be part of your cabinet, right? So that would be the person representing Parks and Recreation in your cabinet.
Correct.
Okay.
Nicholas, can I ask a question?
Sure, I have one too after you're done. Go ahead.
Alex, what exactly do you do and in reference to our committee? Like what resources could we expect from you?
Honestly, that is a great question. And I don't know. 1 second, North, please. I'm not sure. I'm still trying to figure out the relationship. This is my first community board with you guys. And my supervisor told me this is something that my role is required to do. So I guess that's something we will establish along the way.
Okay.
Tell me what's needed and I'll see if it's something I can do and vice versa.
And could you make your email accessible to us? We don't have chat, but
I'll put it in the chat now.
questions in between.
I'll put it in the chat now. This way you guys.
I don't think we have a chat, but you could send it to Dante and then he'll to the district manager. He could disseminate it from there.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. May I have a point of personal privilege, Miss Mormon? Hello. I knew somebody named Margareta Mormon. Any relationship?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Sorry.
Somebody in a long time. All right. So let's move on. Let's see. Mr. Fulton. I'm going to try to go alphabetically. Would you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi. My name is Matt. A new community board member here. I'm a law student at Brooklyn Law School. I moved to the neighborhood about 5 years ago. Love the community, and I'm excited to work with y'all.
Okay. Well, we're looking forward to work with you because you're going to be very helpful to our community because we have big dreams. All right. Is Miss Abina Oshful arrived already? Otherwise, we skip and go to the next person. No. Courtney Loisel. Courtney or Courtney? Please let me know how to pronounce your name.
Hi, Nicholas. It's Courtney.
Courtney. Okay.
It's very nice to meet everybody. I'm excited to be part of the committee. I've lived in the neighborhood for about 2.5 years. And my background is actually in Section 8 housing. So I've worked for states and governments a lot, but I've never kind of had the opportunity to work in the area of parks, recreation, and culture, although that's something that I really love. So I'm really excited to be here.
Oh, thank you. And we go to Miss Brenda up again. Would you please introduce yourself to those who don't know you yet?
Hi, everybody. I am a member of the community all my life. I've lived in Brooklyn and Crown Heights, basically one part or another of Crown Heights all my life, which is 62 years plus now. I am happily retired since 2016 from the Board of Education and spending all my time volunteering and doing other lovely things, whatever I choose to and can be of help in. So that's what I'm here for.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Fagan. Next, alphabetical. This was not alphabetical looking at that list.
That was
Look,
not alphabetical.
it's not
Fagan
because
does not come before Brian. Okay.
yeah, I know. That's what
So
I
you
just
know, I
realized.
was a teacher. I know the alphabet. Okay.
I agree. Me, I was doing the same thing 35 years. Still don't know the alphabet. All right. I was just looking down a list that was sent to me instead of checking it. Chloe, look on. Please let us know who you are and welcome again.
Hi, everyone. My name is Chloe Lucan. I've lived in Brooklyn for 5 years. I spent 4.5 years, well, actually almost 6 years now, but I spent 4.5 years in Bed-Stuy, and then I recently moved to Crown Heights. And I work in the creative industry, working on like styling projects and costume design for TV and film. And I just wanted to figure out how to help contribute to the community and wanted to do so by joining the community board.
Okay, welcome. And believe me, with art and culture, recreation and culture, we're probably going to use a lot of your talent and your experience. And last but not least will be Miss Brenda. Julia Bryant, I mean. Please let the other people know who you are. And
Hi, I'm
Julia?
Julia Bryant. I am a community activist, and I am concerned with green spaces. I have been on this committee for 5 years. I love this community as well.
Okay. Thank you, Julia. I was expecting somebody from the Prospect Park Alliance. Is anyone here from the Prospect Park Alliance? Because I wanted to do a presentation or an announcement. I don't see anyone there. Let's see. And we just got one person that comes in, CC. Would you please introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Celeste Chase, a board member, and so I'm just checking out different committee meetings just so I can get an idea of how they're run and hopefully be more productive in the committee that I'm on, which is the Education Committee. So good evening to everyone and nice to be here.
Oh, thank you for joining us. As a matter of fact, the Park and Recreation and the Education, we'll probably be doing a lot of stuff together, so welcome. So thank you, Miss Cece. Okay, let's move on the agenda. We were supposed to get a Prospect Park Alliance presentation or announcement. That's what I understand. I don't know what happened. So we'll reach out to them and see again.
Maybe
next,
you could get a secretary.
Did
say that
Kyrie
again?
get a chance?
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to. Carrie, please. I did not, my list, let me see. Yes, Kyrie. Oh.
Oh, no, no worries. Good evening,
Thank you for.
everyone, and hi, Nicholas.
Mhm.
Can you all hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I don't know about the other.
Oh, my apologies. This Wi-Fi is bad. Hi, everyone. I am Kyrie Aline, originally from Crown Heights, Brooklyn, New York, born and raised right here in CP9. And along with Nicholas, I have the pleasure to serve as member at large for the CP9. And I'm here just visiting this committee as well as other committees. And welcome to Community Board 9.
Thank you. Okay.
What does member at large mean?
Member at large these are the two elected members of the executive board. And their role is not really clearly defined. It's really stating they probably could do into anything. So, or even do things as assigned by the chair. So we are part representing the rest of the committee in the executive board. So if I don't know if everybody got the mail, they were able to see the presentation from the board president's office describing. It's a very good presentation explaining how the community board should operate, is to be operated. So if you haven't done so, if you have not received the email, well, you should, I'll be glad to send it to you. Those who were at the board hall for the swearing in, any of the new board members who had that swearing in at board hall? So I think that's when the presentation was made, and
No,
Mr.
there was
Manager.
a second Nicholas, there was a second presentation. Dante and Fred Baptiste gave one. And,
Well, there were.
and we have a question, is Dante, was that recorded?
No, this is, I mean, this meeting is being recorded, yes.
No, the
No.
meeting,
No, that was not recorded, but if anyone wants the PDF presentation, I'm more than willing to send that to them.
Okay. Because I think it would be, after this meeting, it would be good that everybody in this committee see those presentations. I think they sent two presentations. One was about the community, but the other one about a new responsibility the community board gonna have in addition to liquor licenses, is the cannabis initiative. So please, it would be a good idea you get, because that would really inform you as we get into the general meeting, because you're gonna have to vote for licenses for cannabis dispensary and so on and so forth. Okay, so I will move to the agenda public commentaries. Anybody has anything they would like to say? Go ahead, Brenda. Mhm.
Can Dante just send it to everyone on the committee and those two presentations? That way we'll all have them regardless of who saw, attended or didn't. We can
Of course.
make
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. That would be
I
that,
do
yes.
too.
That's good.
Okay. So we're moving to public commentary. Are there any commentary anybody wants to make whatsoever regarding the community board and this committee? Maybe what they would like to see and so on. So we're going to limit that 2 minutes per person. So then we could move on with the agenda. If you could use the raise hand function if you're so interested, if you're ready to talk. If not, we will move on for nomination and election of vice chairperson and the secretary.
Somebody just joined the meeting on telephone.
Let's see. On telephone. Oh, I see I have two hands up there. All right. Let me change my view. I'm not seeing it.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, go ahead. You just joined
hi.
us. Mhm.
Sorry, yes, I haven't joined before. I was just going to listen in. I've never participated in a meeting before, so is it okay if I listen in or?
Yes, because
Okay.
all meeting of the community board are public meeting, the whole, based on the open meeting law. Would you please
This is
tell who
part-
you are and your interests and so on and so forth?
Yeah, sorry. I'm with, I'm located I live in Crown Heights and this is the Parks Committee, is that right?
Park Recreation and Culture Committee, correct, for
Yeah,
Community Board
yeah.
9.
Yeah, and so I'm very interested in the local parks and just wanted to hear what was being discussed about that or anything else that's going on in the community related to the parks and culture.
Mhm. Would you mind sharing your name? So if
Yeah, my name is Jane O'Mahony. Yeah.
okay, thank you, Jane. Okay.
Thank you. And I couldn't join by Zoom, so I joined by phone.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. That's perfectly
Thank you.
fine. Okay, so you could sit in, listen in, raise your hand, participating. So it's open.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll just mute myself again then for now. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. All right.
Okay.
So,
thank you.
2 hands up. We'll go. I have Dante and Julia. Oh, why don't you go ahead, Dante, and then Chloe, in that order.
Yeah, I was going to say, as I said before, this committee does a lot of good work. And, over the past couple of months, even into the spring, I've realized that a lot of funding opportunities, come up. And so I know that this committee focuses a lot on parks. And so, I just want to offer per se, while the committee is planning the things that it's going to do for the year, just keep in mind that, the community board doesn't have a lot of money, but there still may be an opportunity for whatever projects that the committee is interested in. If there may be opportunities for us to find funding elsewhere. And then also, a part of the job of the community board, especially mine as district manager, is to meet with elected officials and advocate for the things that the committees want. And so, I'll just speak of quickly on the Environmental Protection Committee last year. They worked very diligently, and one of the things that they wanted is to get more trash cans for the district. And so, now we have confirmation that, both council members put in the funding to get those trash cans and purchase those trash cans at the respective locations that the committee had offered. And so, I just want to offer, to the committee, while you all are planning things, always ask questions. The board might not be able to pay for it, but I'm willing to send emails and make phone calls to see who may be able to pay for X, Y, and Z. So just keep that in mind while you're planning. Some things do cost money, and it would be more helpful for myself and for the board if we're able to plan accordingly. So I did provide the budget request form to the chair, and so as you guys move throughout the year, take a look at the form, kind of get used to it, and start putting information into it. And if you ever have any questions, you can always reach out to the board office, and I'll respond with the information that I have.
Thank you. All right, let's move to Julia.
Hi, I'm Julia. I used to be the secretary. The thing that I want to make sure that we get covered is that we get officers and secretary, and I want to know at what point do I read the minutes from the last meeting? So are we going to do that at a later point during the agenda?
Actually, since this is a new fiscal year, so we had to close up everything from last year. So we're really starting brand new. So that's why I didn't put it within the agenda. There's no minutes to review because it was a closing meeting.
But
So,
that's what our problem was last year, is that we start up new every year, then we never get anything finished. So we have,
I understand,
we had
get
things that
something
we
in.
wanted to do
I-
from last
But
year.
I want,
You're
but I
talking
wanted-
over me.
Right, okay. Let me see.
Am I recognized or not?
No, you finished. Go ahead. Excuse me. I apologize for that. Go ahead.
Okay, so we had an issue from last year that we keep starting up new from one year to the next, and we never get anything accomplished. So my point is, let's figure out what we're going to do for this year so that we actually get something done. Dante, as much as I appreciate your, throwing us flowers, I didn't see anything get done. I've been here for 5 years. I just want to make that very clear.
Okay, let me respond the following way. One of the agenda item I have is review of last year committee accomplishment. I didn't put it as a review of the minutes. That way, that would give us the starting point from where we left off. I understand your point, the fact that you want to see the continuity within the work of the committee. So that would have been, if you get a copy of the agenda, that would be agenda number 6. I wanted to do that first before we get to that point, to do determine the position. And my understanding, when Congress starts every year in your legislative session, I don't know if they read the minute for the last closing recitation session. My understanding is that any bills that was there before has to be resubmitted. And that's the reason I wanted to do a review. So that way we have a basis from where to start. So that's my understanding. So correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know what the bylaws also state about that, but that's the reason I did that. So I really didn't start from new, because for some of us who's been in that committee, we'll be able to let the people that are new to know this is what this committee has been doing. So, but as no, it is customary in every meeting that we're going to approve the minute from the previous meeting. But since the term ended, we start brand new. But nonetheless, we have to take into account what was done before. Okay, I think I had somebody else, Chloe. You have your hands up.
Yes, so I wanted to know, so what are some examples of things that the committee has done or can do? This is my first time joining a committee, specifically one that has to do with like culture, recreation, and parks. So I would just like to know, like, what are things that we've done before in past years, or what can we do, just to get an idea of what goes on.
Okay. So that would be the same answer if I can. Oh, you're done? So I don't want to talk over you. That would be after the next two, the number 6 on the agenda item, so you get a clear idea. But what I wanted to do is to get this committee structured so we could get a vice chairperson in the event I cannot be there, and a secretary to take the minutes. And then what I like to do now is to open nomination for those 2 positions. Why don't we start with vice chairperson? If you are interested in becoming vice chair to run the meeting in the event, I'm not able to go and do the meeting, you could self-nominate and somebody else can nominate you. I think the proviso is, I think it must be a board member. If I'm wrong, please let me know, Dante.
That's correct. The vice chair must be a board member.
Okay. So people eligible to be vice chair are Mr. Fulton, Ms. Abina Hodgeful, and Ms. Wazell. And okay. So anyone on those 3 interested in becoming a vice chair for this committee? So you couldn't, well, I think this is the time to tell people, like all the committees and the whole board, we operate using Robert's Rules of Order. So, so I just open nomination, and then we got to make a motion, and it got to be seconded, and then we got to vote on it. Anybody? Ms. Roselle and Mr. Fulton. Mr. Fulton still here? Matt? Matt Fulton, can you hear me? Everybody's muted. Ms. Loisel, can you hear me? Are you interested in becoming a vice chair for this committee?
Sure, I can nominate myself.
Okay, great. So is there a second? That's one nomination. Anybody else?
I will
The other
second her.
All right. The other person eligible is Mr. Fulton. Mr. Fulton, are you interested in becoming a vice chair of this committee? You are muted.
Let's move on.
Unmute.
All right, let me follow Robert Rules of Order. I have to close nomination by saying it 3 times. Are there any nomination? Are there any nomination? Are there any nomination? Seeing none, we only have Ms. Loisel, the only nominee, and let's make a motion to elect Ms. Loisel as vice chair for this committee.
We
So
made
I
a
could-
motion, we second it. Now we take a vote.
Yes, so let's take a vote. Well, there's no need to really take a vote, so we only have one candidate. So she's gonna be,
One by nomination.
say that again? She's
One by,
acclamation.
yeah.
Because there was that, so let's the record note, since we're being recorded, that our new vice chair is Miss Courtney Loisel. Thank you. Congratulations on your your election, not appointment, to be the next vice chair of the Park Recreation and Culture Committee. So in the event I may not be able to attend, and then you and I probably will be talking about, let's say I cannot make the meeting, then you'll be taking over to conduct the meeting based on the agenda. All right, thank you very much. So let's move, actually, next time I'll do it the other way. We'll do the secretary first. So now nomination are open for secretary. So we could have our minutes. Everybody is eligible for that. It doesn't have to be a board member. I'm opening nomination for secretary. You could either nominate yourself and somebody can nominate you.
I nominate Brenda Bacon.
Are there any second?
I second.
Okay.
Fine.
She declined. All right.
Nomination, but I have to decline. I have other responsibilities that I know would be too much for me.
Okay, so I appreciate it. So anybody else? Anybody else interested in nominating somebody or themselves?
It's challenging when you're new to the committee and to each other to nominate people. And it's also challenging when you're not clear on what the responsibilities might be as well. So it might be good at some point to have those responsibilities listed or written out in some form so that we can all have access to them going forward from here on out, so that every year, you know, everyone can have access to that information in general.
That's a well taken. I well taken that. Yes, go ahead, Judy.
Okay, so I've been the secretary twice. And so what the task is that you take attendance of everyone that appears at the meeting. You take attendance to all the people who are on the committee who are not at the meeting. So you have two lists and you check off who's here and who didn't appear. People who do not appear 3 times then get a telephone call. So it's important that you take the minutes, the attendance properly. I don't take down everything that everybody says. I just take down things that have been, any motions that have been made, and any discussion of any projects that have been made and who is going to work on the projects. The meeting happens the second Thursday of the month, and they're due at the community board office by the Monday of that month. I give it to Nicholas and I give it to somebody in CB9's office, because the minutes need to show up at the executive board meeting the following Tuesday. So there's a very short turnaround time. To me, it's taken me an hour after the meeting between typing it and sending it to everybody it needs to be sent to. And I send them what we call the draft. And then the second meeting that we have, then that set of minutes become the final, and they can be posted for the community board. And there's a template. So there's a template, that's a Google template. So you can just type into the Google template and you're good to go. Done.
Can we nominate you?
I've done it twice.
Does that mean you don't want to do it anymore?
I've done it. I'd like somebody else to share the responsibility. Okay, it's not healthy for a community for one person to keep doing the same job. It's no growth.
What about Cece?
But thank you for the offer.
Yeah, I think it's a good experience, especially for one of our new members. It's not a lot of work. So like I said, she said it takes about an hour to do it, especially since we only have a template. So you could take a few minutes. And then if you need to refresh yourself, but I don't know how quickly they post the video of the meeting on the community board website, maybe then they could let me know. How long does it take for you to do that?
Typically after we get them a day or two.
Okay.
Yeah, see,
So
that's
you-
not gonna work for this committee because we have the turnaround time.
The turnaround time for us is short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's,
It probably
I
works
was trying to see to
for us.
move the date of the committee meeting because of, especially for that, one of the reasons. But so we have this meeting and you got by the weekend to do it. It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to get it done. So
I have a suggestion in the alternative if you
Sure.
get someone that we take turns.
that's a possibility. We could always do that. So we could, 1 or 2 people can take turns to do it. What do you guys think, please? I like to hear what everyone is thinking.
Hello, that's Brenda. Let me put my video on. But what exactly is the template? Because I heard Ms. Bryant, Julia talk about the attendance, as an important part, but what else is outlined on that template? Because that was I have my hand up, you see, we need someone who knows how to work this technology here. It's not me.
Okay.
But, I wouldn't mind perhaps alternating with someone else if I'd like to see the template and how much, because one of my concerns, okay, since I'm talking now, I'm unmuted. One of my concerns is that we have consistency in taking the notes, that there is an outline, that there are action items put into the notes so that we know what we're doing from month to month, so that each person who is I don't know if we're going to do the liaisons again, but each
Yes, we are.
liaison will know, you need to get your work done in these 2 weeks before you know, come back to the meeting or whatever the case may be. It would be good if there was a full template for what notes you do need to take. So that it's,
Yes. there is full
Dante, let me make a suggestion. Is it possible you could share your screen and show what that template look like?
Possibly. I'm on a cell phone, not computer. Give me continue and I'll let you know if I'm able to do it.
Okay.
maybe the next meeting, even if not this meeting. I don't want to say yes to a responsibility that I then cannot meet.
That's fair. I mean, I can send it out, then everyone sees the template, and then, you know, Mr. Chair, you can make the decision, you know, moving forward there.
Yeah, what I would like to suggest is to make a motion. Can we table this election until next meeting, until everybody get a lot more information? Is there a second?
I second that. Because I said,
Okay, right, it's second, it's a motion.
This motion is made and seconded. Are there any discussion?
My discussion is that I will take the minutes for this meeting and that we table it and that someone else does it for the following meetings. Okay, that 2 other people or whatever the committee decides. So I'll do it now, so it's done.
Well, this is an amendment to the motion to table. Since this is a friendly amendment.
No, we're still tabling it. We're still.
No, I said the motion to table. So
Yeah.
we're still tabling it.
Yeah.
So are there any more discussion?
I won't be able to be here next month's meeting. So somebody else is gonna have to step up to the plate. Okay.
Let's hope so. We'll
I'll
see.
be here after that, but I won't be here for the second week of October.
October, okay. Well, let's try to do that. And all in favor of tabling this motion with the friendly amendment? Raise your hand or say aye.
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 Look like we have a majority, motion carries. Thank you very much. So let's move to number 6. Review of last year committee accomplishment. It's me, Brenda, and Julia are the only people that was there in the committee the last time, isn't it? Everybody else is new. I was hoping to get back some of the oldest people. So why don't we start talking about what did we do last year in this committee? Who would like to start? Brenda or Julia? Julia.
Nicholas would like to start because Julia is listening for all of the things that were accomplished. And I would like to say, after Nicholas speaks, then I can share a little bit. We had liaisons last year. I know I wasn't able to make it to the community event in June. It was June 4th. Because I was at the community garden instead of being with CB9 up at the park having the event. So Nicholas can talk about the event because I didn't make it there, but that was one of the things that was completed last year.
Right, that was one of the major activity that this committee originated, which was a community board wide. It was the very first time we were doing it. And all of you say it was highly successful. So I think that's one of the other things we're going to try to do again. As a matter of fact, what I would like to do, and I want the help of the committee to do that, is to make it a resolution at the executive committee and the next general committee that will pass a resolution that we have a community fair the first Saturday after Memorial Day. Again, and hopefully we'll make it bigger and better than this time. It was we had a lot of city agencies. So if you check our website, you could see there was pictures, you could see all the stuff that happened. It was very successful. Everybody really, really enjoyed this particular. A lot of information was given. We had people, we had businesses from the community that came that sell food. We had almost all the city, correct me if I'm wrong, almost 98% of the city agency were there present. We had people from the health, we have the health insurance company, because the combination, that activity was also a follow-up to the previous year of the health committee putting their health fair. So this particular event was a combination health fair, job fair, and community resource information fair. And we had DJs, music, stuff for the kids. And I think this is something that we should continue to do in Community Board 9. I know our neighboring community board, I think Community Board 8, they have an event in Broward Park, which is similar, called One Quan Heights. I think it's a similar situation, and I think that's one of the things that we did. Okay. Are there any questions? Do we have any pictures, video, anything from there on our website concerning that?
Not on the website. We'll have to compile. Well, one, we'll have to reach out to all the nonprofits who took photos, because there were different folks, and then compile it.
Okay.
And then put it up.
Brenda, you said you wanted to continue? And I think Julia has her hand up too.
No, Brenda, go.
Go, Brenda.
The things that I recall from last year, and that's a bad thing to leave it to my recollection. I just want you all to know that. We had liaisons to various different organizations, Botanic Gardens, Brooklyn Museum, et cetera, et cetera. And the liaison responsibilities were not clearly defined. So some liaisons brought back information from those cultural organizations on a monthly basis. Some liaisons were able to procure information about free events, tickets, et cetera, like with the Botanic Garden, their community tickets, which are available every day that they're open, which makes it free to community members. And to start to not only getting free things, Julia got, was liaising with, what is that? With a movie, BAM. No, BAM, Brooklyn Academy of Music. And we found out that they have, for seniors, movie day, which during the pandemic, of course, was curtailed in large part. But there is a movie day, a time when seniors go the third, I think, Friday of the month, and it's free for senior citizens to go in. They get popcorn, a soda, and a free movie. So there were some connections made. Some people actually made specific connections with someone at the cultural organization, while other people maybe didn't make such a clear connection, but just brought back their own ideas of what was going on in that organization or institution. And I think that that was a good start, but it needs to be more clearly defined so that each of us can connect with a particular person on staff at the organization or cultural institution, and we can have a regular ongoing contact with them. We had a lot of people come in from Prospect Park, Botanic Gardens, because we were doing Save the Botanic Gardens, stop the buildings from going up and shading the Botanic Gardens and the whole neighborhood, so our part in that was more diffuse in terms of us saying we need to get more information out to community members. And one of the things that I had in my mind, which I made a point of saying, is that it's not enough to put it on the website, because the majority of community members don't know CB9. They don't know that there's a website. And I don't find the website to be so friendly. When I go look for it, I'm 62, not that tech savvy. It is what it is. Okay. So those are some of the issues that we need to do. I'm going into a different realm now. We need to put paper on fences and in libraries and schools, etc., in order to let the community know what's available in CB9. So the liaison thing I thought was a good idea that needs to be fleshed out a bit more if it's going to be more productive. And we need to clearly identify, as our new member said, what are the things that we can do, you know, besides find some freebies here and there. What is this committee's role? Okay, but that's what I had to share.
Go ahead, Judy.
I would like to say about what happened last year in terms of funding. We didn't get any. I was very specific that I wanted to assist Maple Street Garden in getting funding. The person who came to give us information about funding was not able to actually produce any funding. And quite frankly, we thought it was a waste of our time. So Dante, I'm directing this initiative to you. It's a question. I have not talked to Brenda about this lately, but I'm assuming that Maple Street Community Garden still would need to have some kind of funding. And that if the community board at the Parks and Recreation could help these communities get actual funding as opposed to lip service. You know, what happened at the meetings where people would come and talk to us and blah, 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 blah. And when we called them back, their numbers didn't work. It was like we had been scammed. I don't want that to happen again next year. And that's sort of why we should take good minutes so that we can follow up 1 minute from one meeting to the next to follow up to find out who exactly can help us get this funding, as opposed to, you know, as much as I appreciate that we're having a community field day, there's no discussion in this committee about the field day or this community day. Nicholas just told us he's going to have it on this day. Did we vote on it? We did not. Does everybody here have a buy-in on it? We did not. So I think that we should, before we have any further conversation about, you know, going to the community board about a community day that he finds, and this is not to be taken personally at all, Nicholas, but I'm looking at all these.
I'm not, nothing is personal.
Okay, I'm looking at all these spaces and I'm not sure anybody here was, you know, even at this community day. The community day was something that, as far as my feeling, we fell backwards into. We discussed it, we couldn't get a day. I couldn't attend, other people couldn't attend. Many people I know from the community didn't get to attend. We were told 1 week and then it was going to be the next week. It just was not, you know, we had a whole year to do it. And, you know, we asked about it, and nobody could give us a date or a time or a date or a place or whatever. And then it's going to be next week. Good for us. That's not a community fair. That is, I don't know what that was. That was some hibbity-gibberish thing that a bunch of people showed up, you know, staff members who had no choice of whether they were going to go or not, food trucks that showed up to feed us. I didn't feel like that we had given any planning whatsoever. I'm glad it fell into a good day. I'm more than glad that it fell into a good day. But I really feel very quite slighted that I wasn't able to attend because we weren't given a date. I'm very disappointed. I've been on this committee longer than anybody in any of these spaces. I've been here long before all of you. And that I didn't get to go to the community fair that we've been working toward. It's a big disappointment. And I'm saying it over and over again because it should be a community event as opposed to something that we made some telephone calls. I couldn't even make telephone calls to certain people because we didn't get the date until like a week before. So I couldn't even tell people because it was so unprofessional. I wasn't even going to make that telephone call. So there were people who could have showed up, but we couldn't call them because it was just too unprofessional to call them at such a late date, especially when we'd been discussing it for a year. I'm done.
Okay, want to hear your comments. The only thing I want to add, the idea came from there. It was submitted to the executive committee and then it was submitted to the whole board and they voted to go ahead. I agree with all the points you make, and I'm saying these are all the points we have to take into consideration to improve. It was, a lot of us realized it took us something like a couple of months to get it done. But I think, and the only thing I said to people, this is an event that should be planned a year in advance. So I think it was a learning experience. And all your questions and criticisms are very well taken, and they're going to give us a basis to move on and make it better. Okay. What is clear is that the community need that community fair. This is what was demonstrated. So, I would say for the next meeting, we're going to go back as part of what we're going to be doing for the year. That will be one of the things we're going to put on our agenda. Are there any other comments regarding what happened?
Nicholas, do you want me to put it as an agenda item at this point?
It is, it's number 6,
I'm
review of
sorry, I'm not looking at it. Yeah, thank you.
number 6.
Can I just ask, I'm sorry if it was already covered, I had to temporarily step away. The agendas, are they like emailed out to us like a broadcast? Yes.
If you're on the committee as a board member or resident committee member, the board office, we send it out to each member of the committee because it just makes it simple. If you're a member of the public, you're able to just go onto our website. If you go to About, there's a tab that says agendas and minutes, and then the minutes. We try to get the minutes up there as fast as possible, when we get them. But if you ever need any of the information, you can always call or email the board office and we'll send it to you.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, because even with like the calendar, I just went to the website. That was how I got the link. It wasn't like emailed or a calendar invite, nothing.
Dante, have you been able to get the minutes for this meeting on the website? Because they haven't been there.
They're not on the website yet. We're going to do a review of the website once we get a new person in the office, since we're short staffed right now, and find anything that's missing so we can get that up. And it can be out of my hair and off my list. One of the ones is definitely one of the ones that you brought up, your minutes, because I do recall that you brought that up in our last meeting at the training. But yes, we're going to do a internal audit of the website, see which minutes agendas are missing, and get them up there.
Okay, so I'm just reiterating the point that you just said that the minutes would be up there and they're not. And so if she were to go look at them, they're not there.
That's fine. Yes, no, please reiterate, heard. And folks, just so you're aware, if you don't see any of the information on the website, You don't have to wait to a committee meeting or a general board meeting to bring it up. You can call the board office or email the board office. We will search for it immediately and try to send it to you as fast as possible.
Are we gonna be doing our meetings on Zoom all year?
Right now, we're waiting for direction from the governor. The governor has extended the emergency declaration a couple of times, but honestly, sadly, we get last minute notice, and it's rather frustrating, as you can imagine, because space is really difficult to find. And so right now, we will be doing the September meetings virtually, but October is still up in the air.
If I may say something, my sense is we're gonna go to in-person meeting pretty soon, within the next 2 months. I think that's where we're heading. By the next 2 months, all these meetings will be not on Zoom. I think they may have some kind of a hybrid situation for certain people, but mostly we're gonna go back to in-person meeting. Okay.
I like Zoom.
I know.
That
It's
saves you
so
2
convenient.
hours of travel time and, you know, rubbing elbows and picking up whatever we give to each other. Okay.
I know.
I like
Still don't get a chat. We still don't get a chat.
Yeah, that's one of the things that perhaps, you know, is lacking here because we can't drop anything into the chat or whatever. But I appreciate the Zoom meetings because look, you can be here from your living room or your car if you're on the way from work. But when we get to a brick and mortar, then it's like, it's raining. I'm not coming.
My sense is I would love to see people in a hybrid situation.
Yeah.
So that would work. That would work. Yeah.
Right.
So that's what
Those
I'm saying.
can't come out, you know, perhaps it could stream to them, you know, but my biggest issue now is that we need people to know that this forum exists. You know what I'm saying? You can walk up and down the streets. I'm in, you know, Crown Heights and I'm 2 blocks over, it's Prospect Lefferts Gardens and whatever. I don't care what you call yourself this year, but we're here. But most people don't know that there's a community board, that, you know, there are things you can access or find out about if you're in touch and keep abreast of what's going on. So that's my big issue now.
Well, I've been, go ahead, Dante.
Yeah, may I? Yes, no, I agree 100%. You know, the community board, as I will say over and over again, does not have a lot of money. We don't have the luxuries that large agencies like the Department of Finance and other agencies, the Board of Elections, like they have people's information, right? Like you pay your taxes, DOF has your information. You get a tax bill, you will always get that tax bill, right? And so they have great volumes of people's information, where the community board just doesn't have that infrastructure in it. I don't believe that it was ever meant to. And so what we try to do in the board office is we have an internal listserv where, you know, we ask people, you know, if you want our weekly e-blast or information from the board, you know, we're able to send it to them. And I'm pleased to say that listserv has grown substantially over the since my time being there. But I do realize, like, not everyone's on the internet, not everyone has a cell phone. That's a real thing. No, I hear you 100%. But this is also where we need, when I say we, the community board staff, right? We are a staff of 3, right? Our job is to run the board office. So we really don't have the capacity to be out in the community, right? The folks on the board, the members and the resident members are the eyes and the ear of the community, right? And so we have to have this level of communication. We know that there are many board members and community resident members that are involved in many different things that are not the community board. And it's incumbent upon them as being invested in this community to, okay, when they get information to the community board, forward it along. You know, we need help with this. And so, you know, unless we direct everyone to the community board office and we add them to the listserv, right? It's going to be difficult for us to be able to get information to, you know, especially to people who don't have the technological means to participate. And so listen, if you know of people, especially seniors who, and definitely groups of seniors, if you know, have them call the board office. I'll talk to them and we'll try to figure something out, right? If it means like we have to mail 10 pieces of paper to one person and they're able to disseminate it in their building, then listen, that's what we have to do. But listen, I need your help. The board needs your help. Like this is all public information. And so as we move forward, please connect people with the board.
I think the what is it? Major Owens
Yeah.
thing there and the libraries, we need to send the calendar, as it were, out to those places, because there are people going there for their swimming and their exercise. They got their, memberships and things like that. And those then help information to spread, even further. So, yeah.
My suggestion is, if I may, is each of us receive mailing from the elected. Where do they get that list? I think every registered voter will get an email from Rita Joseph, from Zelna Myrie, from whoever your council person is. And I think what we should try to do is to see if we could tap these elected to send out the information about the community boards, not as a part of their normal letter. Newsletter they send out. Do a special mailing for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's one way to approach it. Share that listserv with us, because they do go out there and collect email number, but also, real snail mail,
right,
to advertise. I think that's one way to approach it. The other suggestion I have, and because we are very, very short staff, if we can get either committee members to volunteer to go to the subway station, maybe once a month, sit there, Community Board 9, as people are coming home from work, they could stop by. We have some, and then we could try to increase the list of people on our list. These are the two suggestions I have. And those are the two things I probably would like to bring to the executive board at the next meeting, because definitely the PR machine for the community board is very lacking, because nobody knows what's going on within the community, unless you're really, really interested on that. Okay, so let's the note reflects that is something we can. Because my next agenda, I don't know if anybody else wants to talk some more about this before we move on.
No, move on.
All right, so I wanted the next agenda item was planification for this fiscal year. Well, we talked about one thing already now, the community fair. The other thing I like to propose is to do community walks. I had a conversation with Assemblymember Cunningham, because what I did on my own was, in a couple of weeks, I went to visit most of the playground within the community and the community gardens. So this summer, I've been to almost every playground in this community. And I took pictures, I took note what they needed, and I went to not only Maple Street, which I had a visit earlier, I went also to the Union Street Community Garden. Miss Gloria Briggs, who won that one on Union Street, she was supposed to join us today. She said, we had a good conversation. She said she wanted to join the committee as resident member. I haven't been able to reach her today. And she's having a lot of problems with that garden. That garden is now a dried out lot. She said, I have no water. Everything died. It's a beautiful space. I'm going to keep talking to her to see if I could bring her in.
Nicholas, for my minutes, where's the garden again?
The garden is on Union Street between Franklin and Classen.
Is it called Union Street Garden?
Yes, it's also, like the Maple Street, they have the Green Thumb assignment and all that. They have all the stuff, except I asked her that she has volunteers. She said she had enough, but she has no water in there. I couldn't believe it.
We don't have water in the garden either. We have a big thing that catches water. We have to take the line out up to the corner, just around the corner, in order to put it on the sprinkler to get water to bring down the street,
Well,
to water the garden.
that's
And
good.
the fire hydrant 10 feet in front of us, but we can't use it because you have to go through a whole lot of city paperwork to be able to use the fire hydrant that's right there in front of the garden.
What I was going to suggest for her is she have collected something like 5 or 6 of those rain barrels.
Yeah.
It's maybe to get a lot more of those rain barrels and create some kind of some kind of irrigation system. She will either collect the rain or something and find a way to get some water there.
Dante, do you have any more rain barrels left?
No, I actually gave her, I worked with her, and I believe I provided her with like 6 or 7, maybe even 8. So the ones that you see there are brand new. Like I've been working with her. I know who you're talking about. And it's a beautiful space. Listen, whatever we can do to assist the rain gardens, the community gardens, this is something that like I would love to help the committee on if the committee is looking to do specific things. And if there's gardens that need rain barrels, this is something that could actually work. If there's gardens that need rain barrels, then if we could identify those gardens, then I can put in an early request to the Department of Environmental Protection and have them reserve a specific number.
Dante, is it possible that you could do like a blind lead, like you could requisition 5 barrels, and then by the time you get the barrels, we'll figure out where we're going to send them.
That's possible. The only problem is that the barrels are massive and there's not much space in the office.
Oh, so like when they come in, they have to go out.
Exactly.
Yeah, literally, that's the way they do it. Drop them off, they disappear, and whoever requests them is stuck with them.
Okay. Well, what I'm suggesting, since I speak with Assemblyman Cunningham, is to do next month a community tour of playgrounds and community gardens. So we could try to plan it for October. She told me, if you're gonna do that, please let me know, I will come along with you. So we could invite him and all the other elected. So we gotta pick a date and let them know we're gonna go do a community tour, because not only we're gonna be looking at the parks. For example, I have a park right across the street from me. And I'm glad we have a new representative. We've been having a lot of problems with the fountain because there's a major defect on the water and the water keep collecting. We have a lot of mosquitoes in there. We've been crying about it for the last 3 years. And I think an assessment of each of those playgrounds, I'm not even talking about the basketball court. I'm just considering that.
Was that James?
This is PS 92 on Winthrop Street between Bedford and Rogers. I've spoken to many people and I speak to some experts.
Is it a parks like New York City parks? Because some parks schools are not.
No, it's a park. It's a New York City park. As a matter of fact, the last park commissioner was the last person who dedicated this park. He used to live right here in this block. PS 92 park. And that's the reason I'm hoping on that date you'll be along with us, so you could go to each of the parks and the community garden, so people can identify what are the problems. When I spoke to Joseph,
one of mine.
It's not one of you, right? When I spoke to Rita Joseph about it, the council member, he said also it's not only a question of fixing the infrastructure, we gotta also make sure we have a good maintenance program to keep this park running. Like in my place, for example, it took almost 2 months to fix the swing that was making so much noise, the creaking. After many 311 calls, because my wife is very good at calling 311 with those things. So it took almost 2 months for them to fix it. So, and I think as a park recreation committee, we should do that. Early park assessment, this is something we should plan every year to find out what's the status of each of the playground and the parks, to see what needs to be done. If we even, since a lot of these parks are next to school, I'm a former teacher for 35 years myself. You can engage the school and get the kids involved to do it. I mean, you get one of the teachers, one of the science teachers to do, and it could help beautifying the park. They could start doing some plantings. They could do some of the stuff. So that's what I'm talking about. So I think, I'm done.
No, it's Julia.
Go ahead, Julia.
So I have 2 points. One is I want to just remind you that we're now at 8:20. We're ending at 8:30. The second thing is I understand what you're aiming for, or I think I understand what you're aiming for. And I just want to give you a heads up. Every year we aim toward this. And this is the last time I'm willing to circle back on this same project. I'm not doing this anymore. We go look at the park, we say what's bad about it, and then there's no follow-up. So I'm not going on the walk. I'll go on the walk after you guys identify what you've seen. I'll help you get it moved forward. But I'm just giving you the heads up. We've done this. We've been through that. We've been through this before. So if we don't, okay, this is what I guess what I want to add to your suggestion. I'm all for the suggestion. Don't get me wrong. I'm not anti the suggestion. But before we go spend any energy looking at what's wrong, maybe we should figure out who could help us, because it's very easy to identify what's wrong. But we need to identify who is able or willing to help us. Because just as Alex was saying, is it a community garden? Is it a New York City park? Is it a school ground? Because I suggest that we do one of those things. Because the people who can help you with a schoolyard are not the people who can help you with a community garden. And the people who can help you with a city park. Are you following where I'm going with this?
I'm following what you're doing.
So if you're going to do a walkthrough, decide which of these entities you're going to walk through. And before you go through the walkthrough, find out who is responsible for it. And that whoever is responsible for it goes with you on the walk. So if that means it takes you longer than October to do it, then let's do it in November. This is New York. It'll still be doable in November. It's much thinks it's winter. It's not winter in November. Let's go through the walk then with the person who can help us. Otherwise, I'm suggesting we're spinning our wheels. That's my suggestion.
I think these are great suggestions, and I think the need to do the assessment is always there whenever it's done. That's why I don't push it. All I'm saying is that I spoke to two of the elected about it, and they said, okay, whenever you're ready, let us know. We want to come along. So you're right, because before we go to each park, I would love to identify who's the person from the parking recreation responsible for the park. So we should plan it in the next following meeting, in the next couple of meetings to do it. Pick a date, find out who can do something about it, then schedule the walk. I absolutely agree.
So I'm sorry.
And let me answer your other question, which I forgot.
There are two hands up.
Yeah, let me finish and I'm gonna put the hands up. School playgrounds and community garden. That's it.
Okay.
Okay, I think we have Chloe. Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Sorry. It took me a minute to unmute my phone. So I just wanted to ask, do we have an outlined objective as a committee of what is our overall objective? And then do we outline goals to make sure we meet our objectives every year? I'm still learning the calendar and how it's broken down, but That's my question.
Okay. If I may answer, actually, we've never articulated those goals and objectives, and I think this is something we should do. Absolutely agree. Maybe what we should do by the next meeting is to develop that. I had a general thing, planification for fiscal year 21, 22, 22, 23. So all this can fit within this planification. Develop a goal and objective, and develop any other activities. I'm very open to that. Mhm.
So it's
I
called,
know.
what are you calling it? Develop the board, develop the what? Say again? Chloe, say it again, what you would like to have happen?
Goal and objective for the year.
Yes, I think we should have an objective or a list of objectives of things that we'd like to accomplish, and then like goals or steps that we will take to achieve our objective.
That's number 7 on the agenda.
Okay, I do not have the agenda either.
Oh, no, that's not for you, dear. That's for everyone here. So, and also Julia's taking notes. So it falls under number 7, planification for the fiscal year 22, 23. Excellent. That's what we
It's
need.
excellent. It's an excellent suggestion. I'm
Yeah.
very glad of. Mhm. Okay.
And the
So-
year is only 10 months.
Months, right.
We do not function in July and August. The year is September to June.
June.
And then we have our last meeting in June, and that's it. So the planning is not even 10 months. The planning is more like goals, et cetera, 8 months.
Yeah. Mhm.
So right now, we are planning for things that we can do come like January, or what is our plan, like what is our timeline?
The
I would
time
say-
from now going through June, or we
No, I meant like for execution. So like for instance, the community day or thing that you guys had, you planned it, or you started planning it what month, and then what month did you have it?
September was the beginning of planning for the
Okay.
year. It still is right now,
And it-
and it occurred in June.
Okay, got it.
First week of June or the last
Once we
weekend of
get
May.
an actual date. We had ideas, and then it took us forever to get an actual date, and that's what the
That's
problem was.
because we don't work alone in isolation, because everything needs to go not just to us, but it needs to go to the board, and the board needs to approve whatever it is that we're planning. You know, we may vote on things here, but then it goes to the larger board. All you board members there, Courtney and Matt, all of you, it goes to the board, and then they vote on it. And then it comes back
It
to
comes
us.
back to us.
We only meet once a month. But we can work between those once a month.
What the
If
month,
we
right.
have a plan of action. We have
Mhm.
action goals, and we have someone sitting here who's gonna be at our meeting every month from Parks and Rec. I think we need to deal with Parks and Rec issues, because dealing with schoolyards is a whole nother set of people and issues. That is not an easy thing.
Okay.
She is correct.
Mhm. Okay, so far we talked about 2 things for this year: the community fair, the community walks. Do you guys have any other suggestion of what kind of activity we may would like to do for this fiscal year?
Do we
Watching the time. Mhm. Go ahead, Julia.
Do we want to continue with getting the liaisons?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay.
Yes. That was
Okay.
my next thing. Mhm.
Okay, continue, so then, maybe, since we're running out of time, maybe next month, people could come back with the community agency or cultural institution that they would like to liaison with.
Yeah, that was gonna be my suggestion, yes, to move it for next month, yeah. Mhm.
And maybe we could come back with not just what agency or cultural institution we want to connect with, but we could make a phone call or two and find out who the person is that we would be in connection with
Connection.
for the October meeting. And I could try to get that done before I go away and send Nicholas and somebody, whoever's going to take the notes. I usually send it to Julia and Nicholas.
Yeah.
Okay,
To that
so
end.
I have a question. So these people that we are reaching out to or trying to reach out to, what are we connecting with them for? Is there something that we want or are asking for?
Absolutely. We want to know what they have to offer our residents in this community. We want to know how community members can engage with them more. We want to know what they have for seniors. We want to know what they have for youth.
I think, I mean, again, I'm new here, but I think a better way to approach it might be for us to brainstorm what we think we might want or find out what we think the community might want, and then align with people or companies or organizations that can provide us those things. Because like going to someone and asking like, what can you give us or what can you provide us is a little bit different than, hey, we're looking for this, can you bring us this?
Chloe?
And either, yes?
No, I'm sorry. Keep talking. I just want to be recognized.
And you're finished, Chloe.
Let you finish, Chloe.
Oh, that was pretty much it. I think that we should probably come to these people with asks of like, or demands, but in a better word, of what we're looking for our community members, as opposed to asking them what they can provide us.
Okay. What my concern was with Brooklyn Academy of Music is they will do all sorts of outreach to Park Slope, to Prospect Heights, and nothing at all to Crown Heights. So we're always the orphan. And quite frankly, I just want them to acknowledge us and to say that, you know, when they get funding, they for sure include the
That's in the catchment area.
they definitely include us. So they're getting money because we're in their catchment area, and then they give us buckets, nothing at all. So it started with from nothing to something. And after all these years, they finally addressed us and started sending stuff. So yeah, I'm agreeing with you that we went from dry to wet. So if we want to redefine this and define it and say what specific we would like, I'm all for it. But I just want you to know the history is it went from ignoring us to finally giving us like little postcards and stuff. Okay, so it's not like we didn't think this. It's just that they've just been taken advantage of us, and that's what happened.
3 hands up.
Okay, next person. Then I'll come after that. I'll see who else is up.
Alexandra.
Alexandra, Alex, go ahead.
So I had my hand up earlier, but I guess just to reiterate in case, the park that you mentioned, I'm pretty sure is not mine, but if it's easier, I can send over the list of parks and green streets that are in District 9. Don't do that. That are in District 9 that I oversee. And then if any issues or whatever arise in those specific locations, that's something I can address. Anything outside of the list that I provide is not under my jurisdiction, basically. And now in the event that there's an issue, I basically put in work orders, and another division within parks would be responsible for like handling something that's broken, or like you mentioned with that specific park, something with the water, there's plumbers and things like that. But I can send over the list of my locations that are within District 9.
So that would be great. And if not, could you send us who the responsible person for those parks is?
If it's attached to a school, I'm sorry, if it's attached to a school, then we would have to contact like the principal or the janitor. I only have one park that's attached to a school, and that's in District 8. That's Woods. It's a Woods Playground, which is not the one that you mentioned.
Okay. Minding the time, we'll probably be extending another few minutes. I just want to mention a couple of other things. We would like to talk more about the plan next week, next month when we meet. The other initiative is, this is an initiative we're gonna try to do it in conjunction with the education committee. It's called Arts in the Playground. There's been a couple of community members been meeting about it. So what I would like to do is to invite them next time so we could talk a lot more about it. And also, I just received an email from the Prospect Park Alliance asking they will give a complimentary membership to one member of Community Board 9. I don't know if Dante is suggesting one person. So if you don't have a membership to the Prospect Park Alliance, happen to have one, we could pick somebody from this committee to get that year membership, complimentary membership. If you're interested, let's talk to me and talk to Dante about that.
Yeah, I had it last year. I'm not doing it anymore.
Okay, so we could pick somebody else. If you don't have a membership of Prospect Alliance, you could get that complimentary membership. Because I have a personal membership to them already. So it doesn't make sense for me to take it, but somebody else in there could do it. So think about it, let us know. I think we have a deadline to turn it in.
No, they'll take it wherever.
They take it, oh, okay. So we could speak
Okay,
to them.
Nicholas,
Renee has her hand up and it's been up
And
for
we,
a while.
oh yeah, well, go ahead,
Thank you,
next,
Brent.
yes. Is it Courtney? Yeah.
Yes, I was just going back to the liaison discussion. I really like all the ideas that were thrown around. I just maybe would suggest that we come up with a list of all the places we want to liaise with. And maybe we can all come up with that before the next meeting.
Yes.
And then bring them together and like assign them out, like who will contact which ones, so that there aren't multiple people contacting the same. And have maybe a strategy like Chloe was mentioning when we do that. I think it might be just a little bit simpler and more straightforward that way.
Okay, I agree. So,
And I had to say, my hand is up also.
go ahead, because
These cultural institutions and organizations that we've already liaised with, like Brooklyn Botanic Gardens, you know, the museum, etc., they all have someone who is a community liaison. Brick, all of them have someone who is already assigned the job of community liaison or representative or community outreach person. They have a title, they're on staff. So when you contact an organization, that's who you're going to connect with. But I know we had some people who went to places and didn't connect with a specific person. Then you can't get specific information if you don't connect with a particular person. If you just walk into the museum and walk around and you had a good time, that's nice, but that doesn't help the rest of the community, except that you come and give your opinion on how nice it was. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, there is someone at every organization who does community outreach of some kind. So we can all identify that. And I believe we know which organizations we liaised with last year.
Yeah, yes,
So
we had a list.
we could send that list to everybody and be ready to choose whichever organization, cultural institution interests you the most. Or maybe you're already connected with some cultural institutions or whatever. And then that would make it even easier for whoever is connected already to an organization.
Okay, Nicholas, you're losing people, so let's get it.
I know, I'm about to close this meeting, so I know. All right, to that end, are there any new business?
Yeah, Nicholas, what about the person from the Prospect Park Alliance? What happened?
I don't know.
I
I
realized-
a phone call. They send me a couple emails, say they were gonna be here, and I have them scheduled. I don't know what happened. I'll follow up on it.
Yeah, and
Because somebody from Prospect is supposed to be there, so I'll
Yeah,
follow up.
we want to talk to them. We want to talk to them. They're okay, just so that the whole group understands.
Right.
They're proposing changes in the veil of the park, which is on our side of the park.
Right.
Building in there. We do not, well, many people in this community do not want to have a building. It will interfere with the birds and the birding and their play, and the community, and Prospect Park Alliance is playing our community against Park Slope. They're telling Park Slope one thing and then they're telling us one thing. And because we have people in both groups, we know that they're telling two different stories.
The stories.
Right. So the issue is the veil. Okay.
Yeah, the veil discussion.
Changes to the veil, and we would like, and they've told the people in Park Slope that they've made the changes we asked for, and then they blamed us for it. So it is not a casual thing that they should come to Parks and Recreation of Community Board 9 and explain themselves.
But this is what I want to do about this. I'm going to ask them to be at our next meeting. And I'm going to even ask them to go and make presentation to the whole board. So as of tomorrow, I'm going to call the people in charge who said, you are now requested to be part of the meeting for next month. In addition to that, there's also the Major Honest Wellness Center. They've been in the community. They're supposed to come and give us what's happening, how much they're offering the community. As a matter of fact, one executive board member suggests that we do a hearing. So I may want to invite these two people to come and talk about what's going on, so we could get clarification on all these projects and all this stuff. So definitely on the next month agenda, they'll be there to do a presentation. I will request a presentation.
Nicholas, also, would you do us the favor of mentioning it, because you're going to have the minutes, mentioning it to the executive board. So we are on, this committee is on the record for the executive board that we have asked for Prospect Park Alliance to come meet with us, and that they have failed to meet with us once already. That this deficit is recorded. Okay.
Right.
You know,
because they're the one that requested and they didn't show up. So this is very funny to me. So that's my problem.
Yeah, it's getting from funny to being suspicious. Okay. Thank you.
Well, let's just remember, suspicious is not a crime. Okay, that's fine. So are there any new business? Are there any old business?
Yeah, we had good discussion tonight, participation, and that's what we want to do.
Exactly.
Every time we come together is have participation and discussion so that we can move forward and we can be a benefit to the community the communities, because it's various communities that we live in. So
well, I'm hoping we could bring a couple more resident members, because I'm trying to get Ms. Briggs from there. And it's been a great meeting. I thank each and every one of you. I'm putting a motion to adjourn. Are there any
items? What's the action items for next time?
Action item for next time are, let's recap.
Action item is to bring the a list of cultural institutions.
Yeah, that you to be mailed that.
Okay, and also that we
mail that to everyone, because we already had a list of cultural institutions that we were liaising with.
Yeah, I'll send that to everyone because I have that. We will send that. Okay.
Okay, and also that the next action is that we come with ideas to develop goals and objectives for the planification for this year.
This fiscal year, yeah, correct.
Those are our actions. That's what I. Go ahead.
May I ask a question? As Jane, my first meeting, and I just want to know: is there somewhere I can look to see what has been done in the past by this community board? Is there anywhere to just see what?
That would be nice if the community board would list our minutes. Yeah, talk to them.
Website. There's a community board website There's Dante.
Wow, good. I didn't even have to say anything. That's good.
Call the office.
That means so much.
Okay.
We're out. I gotta go.
Courtney, you
Peace
have
out,
your hands up?
everybody. See you next month. Gotta go.
You have your hands up, Courtney. Any more questions?
Nope, I was just saying goodbye to Julia.
All right, good night, everyone. Let's note this meeting. It's exactly
Everyone.
8:41. Meeting
All right.
adjourned. Thank you.
Night,
Hope to see you guys next month. Meanwhile, we can talk in between. Feel free to
And
call
out the
me.
phone numbers, then we can talk.
You don't have my phone number? I thought you do. Julia has it.
I don't have
Okay.
anybody's number.
We'll do that next time. We'll share numbers.
Yes,
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Have a
Good
good
night,
night,
Dante.
everyone. It's
Thank
been a
you.
pleasure. I really enjoyed this. Okay.
Right. See you